The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome to the Mustang Seat webinar. Thank you guys all for joining us. So this webinar is co-sponsored, I should say, by Mustang and Cruiser Customizing. And the three people you're hearing from today are going to be Kyle Bradshaw from Cruiser Customizing, Marilyn Simmons. Marilyn, would you like to say hello?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
And if you could give us a brief 1 or 2 sentence description of what you do there for Mustang.
Well, I've been here since we started in 1980, and I've done a little bit of everything, but right now I'm in charge of everything involving marketing, shows and advertising and webinars, anything you can think of.
That's great. And also on this webinar, we're going to have Matt Kulman from Mustang Seats. Matt, welcome.
Hi, how is everybody tonight?
Doing really good. So what is your role there at Mustang, Matt?
I've been here for just over 20 years, and currently I'm the sales manager here at Mustang.
Beautiful. I guess I skipped over kind of my role here at Cruiser Customizing. I've been with the company just over 9 years, basically since we started, and I'm in charge of really product promotion. So how can we get people the most information so they can make the most informed buying decisions? Real quick, Carissa is on the other end as well. Carissa's here in the office with me. She's going to be helping me direct this event. So she's going to be running surveys and polls and all kinds of fun stuff like that.
Also, let me know if anyone has any troubleshooting questions.
So if you can shoot Carissa any questions you have as far as if you can't hear your speakers or you're having a problem hearing one of the panelists, shoot that question over to Carissa and she'll be able to, behind the scenes, give you guys a hand. Thank you, Carissa.
No problem.
So here's our first quiz question, not quiz question, but just kind of get the lay of the land. So we're kind of curious, what type of seat do you ride on? Now Carissa's going to pop a quiz, that poll question up, and you'll be able to see that question, answer that question appropriately, and then in a minute we'll get a we'll be able to see exactly where everyone sits on this. So, Marilyn and Matt, what do you guys ride on?
Ha ha. Only Mustang, of course.
Beautiful. How's that poll coming,
I don't think we have a choice.
We are at 80%.
80%?
I'll close in about 30 seconds.
Beautiful. Okay, while we're taking that poll, let's jump ahead real quick to the table of contents. So tonight we're going to learn about the history of Mustang motorcycle seats. We're going to take you through the step-by-step process of how a Mustang seat is made. We're going to talk about what makes a Mustang seat different than other seats in the market. We're then going to roll really quickly through different Mustang products, seat styles, products that go really well with seats, such as driver backrest, luggage, stuff like that. We're then going to go to the drawing of the seat. So everyone in attendance tonight is going to have the opportunity to be entered into the drawing, and Carissa will pull that name, and we'll announce the winner of that seat just after we go through the Mustang products. At that time, we're also going to show a slide that will have a special coupon code that will allow you to have some significant savings at the end of this webinar, and it's only good for 24 hours. So stick around for the end of the webinar where you see that slide, and I strongly encourage you guys take use of that coupon code because I don't know that you'll see another offer like that anywhere for a Mustang seat this year.
The polls are in.
Okay, and what do we have there, Carissa? Well, it looks like 76% of those in attendance are currently riding on a stock or OEM seat. 12% are on a Mustang seat. 5% on a Corbin. I'm kind of curious, if you're riding on another aftermarket seat, if you could go ahead and give Carissa a message on that, I'd be kind of curious. Okay, so now we're back to what we're doing. So who is Mustang Seats? Marilyn B., since you've been around since the beginning of Mustang Seats, if you could give us a little bit of history there on the company, that'd be great.
Okay, well, first, in full disclosure, obviously my last name is also Simmons, but Al Simmons is my brother, not my husband. Want to make sure everyone knows that. But my brother Al started the company in 1980. He started as a small custom building shop, and there were about 3 or 4 of us back then. And it's been growing for 32 years. But we did start very small, and we all took turns doing a little bit of everything. Al's background was as an engineer, mechanical engineer, and he and everyone in my family rode bikes. Al was into motocross and, of course, street riding and trials and flat tracking. So we were into motorcycles, and then he got into motorcycle seats.
That's awesome. Now, when it comes to Mustang and the 3 pillars of success, now as the sales manager, you talk about Mustang seats quite a bit, and you like to really give people features and benefits. So can you touch on this one for us?
Sure. There's, as you can see from the slide there, we have 3 pillars of success: quality, comfort, and style. The quality starts right in our factory in Three Rivers, Massachusetts, and everything is done in-house, all under one roof. We start with our design team, R&D, and it flows right through to right where it ships out.
That's awesome. So, hey, Marilyn, over the years, you guys have traditionally served who as a market?
Well, we probably started predominantly with Harley, but over the last quarter of a century, time flies, our sales are really split Harley and metric cruisers. So we like to stick with what we know best. We do make some seats for Victory, but predominantly Harley-Davidson and all metric cruisers.
So there's one thing I'd like to bring out. You also make seats for other companies. I don't know that anybody else out there knows this, but if you ride a Honda Goldwing and are looking for the most comfortable seat you can possibly put on a Goldwing, Mustang currently makes the seat that is sold under the Kuryakin brand.
Yes, it's sold exclusively by Kuryakin. It's the Mustang brand of seat, but we make it for Kuryakin. We had made Goldwing seats a long time ago, and now we're back making them again. There's a lot of demand for them, but you just have to go to Kuryakin.com and get a Mustang seat for your Goldwing there.
Great, great quality. So I had the unique opportunity to go out to Mustang a couple years ago and actually go through the factory and actually create a Mustang seat. And I've got to say, I was absolutely floored that 99% of the Mustang seat process is all done by hand. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So here we're going to walk through some of the stuff. So let's talk a little about R&D. I don't know which one of you want to pick this up and run with it, but how would you guys describe your R&D department?
Well, the first thing we do is we get the bike in that we're interested in building a seat for and take off the stock or OEM seat. We really set it aside and start with the bike without the seat and build it in the way we think it should be built. The only thing we have to do is make sure the front mounting and the rear mounting or side mounts fit just like stock. Other than that, we're on our own with our own design team.
Beautiful. Sorry. Let's see. So once we get past that, we talk about the seat in and of itself. Now, of course, Al likes to call these seats the world's most comfortable motorcycle seat. And you get that from a couple different pieces: the base plate or seat pan, the main foam, top foam, and seat cover. So Matt, what can you tell us about the Mustang seat pan or base plate that makes Mustang different from others out there?
Whether you get it in fiberglass or steel, the biggest difference you'll notice is if you flip our seat over, you'll notice where you sit, whether you're the rider or the passenger, it's going to be completely flat in that area. If you flip your OEM seat over, it's 9 times out of 10 they're going to be built on an ABS plastic form, and they're going to have ridges and bumps in that area, and that's one of the problems that OEMs gives when you get that hot spot or hard spot that they develop. It's because of what's going on all the way down on that base plate. So when we flatten that area out, you've already improved the seat 10 times compared to that of a stock seat.
Awesome. Now, when I was in the factory, we went ahead and made a fiberglass base plate. So what happened is Al and I are here, we're picking out a mold. And as you can see in that top picture there, that is a mold or what you laid the fiberglass on top of. We then sprayed it with gel coat. We then blasted fiberglass onto it, applied the resin, trimmed off the edges, and then knocked that base plate off of the mold. We then sand down the edges, drilled some holes, and then this is a piece of a part of the process that I was actually pretty intrigued with. Lots of seats in the aftermarket world, or even your stock seat, can get rips and tears along the seams or the edges down there at the base plate. And can you explain this process here a little bit, Marilyn?
Sure. Even though we really sand down the edges of a fiberglass base plate or even a steel base plate, we do both. With the lip of the cover going around it and being secured with the rivets, obviously it has to be protected there because you don't want wear and tear and a split in the cover. So we go to the extra step of putting a really nice thick trim that Kyle did a great job. You know, he had to hammer it on a little bit, and that really protects the cover, so you won't have any cover splitting when they're wrapped around the bottom of the seat.
So that's just one thing I like to point out, is just that they don't spare anything. It's all down to the details, and even the stuff that you're never going to see as an end user, they go ahead and put those things in there just to make sure that the seat's perfect. Now, the seat foam. I was amazed at how little foam actually goes into that mold before we close it up and let it sit, but quite remarkable. So really quick, another poll question. Chris is going to go ahead and pop this one up there. How many hours do you spend in the saddle before your butt gets sore? Having gone to rallies and shows, Marilyn and Matt, as far as the general consumer that comes in and talks to you guys at the booth, what do you think the common answer is going to be here?
I would guess 2 to 3.
2 to 3?
Of course, it depends what they're riding on.
Sure.
Very true.
Once they leave the show with a Mustang seat, it's going to be a lot better. And it's amazing. I should just say here that people think that when you ride a motorcycle, you should expect to be uncomfortable. You know, we've been trying to change that with our marketing and advertising, that you really can be comfortable and ride a motorcycle. Because why do we ride motorcycles? For fun. You know, very few have it as that 100% of their transportation. So we ride bikes for fun, and if it hurts, it's not fun.
Absolutely. That's definitely a key point. I mean, for years I rode motorcycles with really uncomfortable seats, and you know, after having an opportunity to try some of these aftermarket seats out, especially Mustang, it's amazing the difference that they make. So the foam, we went ahead and poured it into the mold. We closed it up, and then we opened it probably about a half hour later, I guess. And you basically get this piece of foam that has all these wiggly edges on it that need to be trimmed off. And then this is legitimately the heart or the center of the Mustang seat. Is there anything you guys want to share as far as that foam process or anything special about your foam?
Well, our foam is a real proprietary recipe, although it's chemical composition. We don't share that with anyone, and we didn't even tell Kyle what really goes into the foam. But it's a combination of open and closed cell molecules, because there's all different kinds of foam. You can have foam which a huge sponge that you could compress to nothing, versus foam you'd have on a life jacket, which you can barely compress at all. So the secret is getting the exact right combination. But Kyle did a great job trimming the foam. I sort of say it's like making a waffle. You know, you put it in, it expands, and then you have to trim the foam. But it's not something that we take a hunk of foam and carve it to the right side. We actually create the foam and have a different mold for every seat style out there.
Perfect. All right, Carissa, how are we looking?
Good. I actually already popped the results while you guys were talking.
Beautiful. I'm not able to see the results here. What do they look like? There we go.
It looks like Matt was pretty close.
Good job, Matt. 1 to 2 hours. 60% of you guys say that you experience uncomfortableness in the saddle. Interesting. Okay, so moving on along the process. This here is a slide of a durometer, and this is what Mustang uses to periodically check and make sure that that special mixture of foam is correct. And I guess this is probably the only truly automated process in the entire Mustang process that I saw anyway, and that was the actual cutting of the patterns of the seat. So if you take a look at this particular picture, you have the seat cutting machine there on the lower right-hand corner. Basically, the vinyl's laid out and put into a computer system that then has all the pieces mapped out in the perfect way to lay them out to optimize efficiency, and then the machine just zaps it. How long have you guys been using that technology versus cutting them out with scissors?
I know for years and years we cut them out by hand with scissors, but with a computerized system we can do several layers of the vinyl at a time, and we save a lot of vinyl doing it that way. It's just so much more efficient. About 10 years, Matt? Yeah. But yeah, that's the only truly automated. And here's Kyle learning how to sew.
Sewing was quite it wasn't a challenge, but it was definitely something that took some time to get used to.
Yeah, we have a great team of seamstresses, and sewing the vinyl is a lot harder than making a dress. It's a lot of handwork.
Definitely incredible. It's like we're here to the next poll. When in the saddle for hours, my blank gets sore. Of course, you have several different options there. So Chris is going to pop that poll, and we should be able to see some interesting results there. So once the cover is sewn, the foam's been done, and the base plate's been made, it basically goes into now the assembly process, where glue is applied to both the pan and the foam. And then in the right-hand side, you can see that the glue is now being applied to the top of the foam. That Matt, can you give us a better description that I'm going to come up with for what that top foam is and what it does?
The top foam is what we call it's a poly foam. It's not really where you're getting the comfort of the seat, but it's what helps give that softer feel when you first originally sit on the seat, and it actually helps us put the covers on and form the seat to the pan as well. But the actual comfort is from the foam that you've poured a couple steps previously.
So once the top foam gets laid on, the cover gets spread over, it then gets riveted to the base plate or the pan. The hardware then gets attached, and then it goes to quality control where the seat's inspected, the labels are put on, and the instructions. And I like to say that the gals that were doing the quality control were spot on. There were a couple things that needed to be fixed on the seat that I made, but they didn't let anything slip, even though it was a seat that I was making as a demo and then sending to our company for us to install and demo on. It was nothing's going to get through here without being 100% perfect.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to see the results?
Yes, please. Thank you, Carissa.
50% butt.
50% butt, 35% back. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And that's where obviously we have nothing to do with your hands and arms, but your butt is the pressure going down, so our foam takes care of that. And the back, we really try to get your butt to sit into the seat and have lower back support. Obviously, the right position, you then have a little crook in your arm when you have your arms out to the handlebars, but we are butt and back fixers.
Now, I'd like to touch a little bit on the back aspect of that. On the majority of Mustang seats, you can add a driver backrest that then gets integrated into the seat, can be removed, adjusted, made to go to the perfect point. That backrest is a lifesaver when it comes to providing that back comfort on long rides.
You really need to have support in the lower part of your back. And just like everyone's mom told you when you were little, sit up straight. And so our seats try to get your pelvis at the right angle so you can sit up straight and relieve the stress on your back muscles and spine.
So then you ship the seats to the consumer, and they get a chance to sit on them. Now, here's another question that I'm kind of curious about. Are you, as an attendee of this webinar, in the market for a seat anytime soon? Either you already have an aftermarket seat, you might love your stock seat, or maybe you're in the market now, or it's on your Christmas list. So Chris is going to throw that one up. While we're waiting for that poll to come in, let's go ahead and take a look at other products that Mustang has to offer. As you can see, the motorcycle there on the right-hand upper corner is running the tank bib, fender bib. It's running the Mustang seat and a set of saddlebags. So other than seats, Matt, what is the main selling item that you guys have?
Well, the driver backrest kits on the FL touring models, and then as well as our matching sissy bar pads, run a close second, and then the accessories such as the tank and fender bibs, which are available with the studs or plain that will complement the seat, would be coming in a close third.
Awesome. Now, hey, Marilyn, what are some of the features of the driver backrest that people can really take a look at?
Well, as it shows on the screen, they do adjust forward and back without tools, so you can just tweak it a little bit. It's amazing how much a quarter of an inch up to an inch of play forward and back really makes a difference. You want that driver backrest nestled in your lower back, and it pivots your back angle to make it even more comfortable, and adjusts up and down. Similar to how your headrest in your car goes up and down to different heights, has little notches in it. And then it comes completely out, all without tools, and you can even fold it up and put it in your saddlebag.
Beautiful. This is what Matt was talking about, the sissy bar pads. Now, you guys make sissy bar pads that go on OEM backrests as well as which other ones?
We do them for the Cobra standard bars as well. But everything else would be the OEM bars.
Okay. Now, as far as tank and fender bibs, what are some of the most common uses or reasons that people install these on their bikes?
Well, some people install it just for the look, because it's a continuation. It helps the lines of the bike, particularly if you have a solo seat and you want the fender bib. It really has a nice line from the tank to the seat to the fender, like that picture on the right-hand side. Some people use them because they have some scratches or a dent and they want to cover it up, so that's a really good artistic way of covering up flaws on your tank or your fender.
Beautiful. All right, let's go back to the poll real quick. Chris, what were our answers there? Carissa?
Looks like we're dead tied for the last two.
Nice. Beautiful. I'm really shocked to see that the attendees here don't have aftermarket seats as much as I would have imagined. So moving on in the accessory line, we have luggage and we have saddlebags. We have seen a huge hit with the Mustang cover hard saddlebags as a great way to really tie the bags to the seat, to the fender bib, to the tank bib. Kind of finishes everything out there. What are some things you guys also like to highlight in this?
Well, the wraparound arms, too, on the FLs. Our wraparound arms extend a little bit more around you, and they're higher, 2 inches more on either side, and they're a little more, I guess they're up a little bit. So instead of having your arms go down, they're a lot more comfortable for the passenger. So we sell a lot of those, too.
Awesome. Hey, Matt, is there anything you can you have in the pipeline coming down that you'd like to let out of the bag, or is that not allowed to be talked about yet?
Well, yeah, we're working on, it hasn't been released like Kyle said, but there will be a matching accessory to the hard covered saddlebags that you're seeing in the lower left there. It'll be a covered trunk that'll match that, and that we expect to be released this summer, so it'll be coming.
So that's exciting. So it's basically a tour pack of some sorts that will allow you to match your seat, your saddlebags, and your trunk.
That's correct. Yeah, well, it'll be available plain and studded, just like the covered hard saddlebags are.
Because right now on the bottom right-hand picture you see are lid covers for the tour pack and the saddlebags. So this will be totally different. But the lid covers are also big sellers for us.
Beautiful. So here's a quick slide of the current styles of Mustang seats, some of the most popular ones. We've got the wide touring, sport touring, day tripper. Now, as makers of the Mustang seat, I have a question. How do you guys go about getting the end user the perfect seat for their application?
Well, we have, for any make, model, year, we have a pretty good variety of seats. Whether you just want a solo or you want a solo with the driver backrest, you want a solo with the rear seat for the passenger, or a one-piece seat. The two-piece seats, you can have a lot of permutations, riding as a solo with the driver backrest, solo in the rear seat. It's nice to be able to mix and match. And a lot of people out there contact us and tell us they actually have a couple Mustang seats. They have one for driving around town and one for long trips, so they can really instantly change the whole look of their bike. I do want to mention here that, particularly as probably one of the few people in the seat building industry who has ridden as a passenger, we take extra special care for passenger comfort. Lots of guys out there might not admit they've ever ridden as a passenger, but women know that whether you're a driver or the passenger, boy, that passenger seat has to be comfortable. So we really care about passenger comfort.
Beautiful. So here's just a pretty good recap on why consumers usually choose a Mustang seat. Matt and Marilyn, you want to touch on these real quick?
Well, we've certainly been around for now 32 years, and you'd think that maybe some OEM people would be listening to this and taking notes and making seats as good as Mustang, but it hasn't happened yet in 32 years. So we're learning more and designing even better and better seats every year, but we've become the world leader from starting very small and just concentrating on quality and comfort. And definitely, I know, I think Kyle's sitting out in California, but we're here in New England. Our manufacturing facility is here in Massachusetts. So we are very proud to be made in the USA.
Anything you want to add to that, Matt?
Well, that sums it up. I mean, one of the biggest points I think that Marilyn mentioned is being made here in the U.S. As we said in the very beginning of the webinar, we do everything under our one roof. So from the pan to the covers, as everybody's seen, the foam and everything's done here in the U.S. So it's we take great pride in that, and that's one of our best selling points.
Beautiful. So we've now reached question and answer time. I'm going to introduce this real quick before we give away the seat, just so you guys all know how this functions. On your dashboard, you're going to notice you have a place where you can enter a question. What's going to happen is if you type a question, Carissa's going to go ahead and filter through the questions. If there's duplicates, she'll only allow one per error. She'll only basically be giving the answers or the questions for one of you, so sorry about that. And then you can also raise your hand. By raising your hand, it'll just alerts us that you have a question. We will unmute your microphone, introduce you, and then you'll have an opportunity to ask your question, and then one of the three of us will answer the question. So go ahead, if you have written questions you'd like to put in, go ahead and start putting those in now. If you have a question you'd like to ask personally, go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll start getting to those in just a minute. So, what are we willing to give you guys for tuning in tonight to the Mustang webinar? This is a 24-hour special only, so make sure if you are looking at purchasing a Mustang seat, this is a huge offer. What we're giving tonight is 15% off any Mustang purchase, plus a free hat, and in addition to that, we'll give you a $30 gift certificate that you can use for any future purchases. Once again, 15% off all Mustang products, a free hat, and a $30 gift certificate for a future purchase of any of the Cruiser Customizing branded items. The coupon code for that is MUST24, MUST24, and that will be entered into the coupon code field on the website at the time of checkout. If you guys have any questions on this offer, go ahead and email me directly, KYLE, Kyle, at cruisercustomizing.com, and I'll get to those either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. Now, we have a really exciting thing to do right now, and that is to give away a Mustang seat. Chris, are you ready for that?
Yep, give me one moment. Mix up the bag a little bit. And our grand prize winner is Gary Ring.
Yeah, Gary.
Would you like me to put him on live?
Yeah, if he's there.
Gary, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, Gary, congratulations. You're the winner of a new Mustang seat.
I appreciate it.
What do you ride, Gary?
What do you need? 2003 Dyna.
Oh, Dyna, great. Well, we have a lot of different seats for that. So.
I appreciate it. I'm excited.
So what seat in particular have you been looking at there, Gary?
I was looking at a vintage Solo, but I actually had a question for you guys on those. I was considering the wide turn Solo as well. One thing I was concerned about is if the wide turning is actually wider in the front as well. I don't want my legs to be too spread out.
Matt, what do you got to say about that?
Yeah, the wide touring one is going to be fuller in the nose of the seat as well. So if you have any height issues currently with the bike, you're going to realize you're going to probably go about an inch wider in the nose area with that wide touring seat.
Okay. All right, great. That's good info.
We do try to make the nose of our seats as narrow as possible because there's no reason to be sitting on a wide horse. But on some of the designs, especially with the wider seats, you sort of have to match the nose a little bit to the width of what you're sitting on.
Right.
Beautiful. Hey Gary, go ahead and shoot me your email address and phone number that I can contact you at, and I'll arrange the shipment of that seat for you.
I appreciate it.
Beautiful. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Congratulations.
Can you give me your email address again?
Yeah, it's Kyle, KYLE, at cruisercustomizing.com.
Okay, thanks.
So I have a pretty large list of questions here. Do you want me to start unmuting people as we go?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. David Nipple, I believe, had a question. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you now. David, are you there? David?
Yeah.
Welcome,
Hi.
David.
I was down at the bike week at Myrtle Beach, and I went on a place that was called Ultimate Seat out of Florida. And I was just wondering, I mean, they look really good and all that. I was just wondering what makes your Mustang seat better.
Well, there are several different manufacturers out there. Obviously, Ultimate, we had in the questionnaire, Corbin, Saddleman. We believe our seats are better because we believe in our foam, the quality of our foam, and we also design the base plate and the cut of the foam to make you sit more comfortably. But, everyone has a different bottom line, and some people swear by other manufacturers, but more and more we have people who are much happier riding on Mustang.
And just to jump in on that real quick, I've ridden on both seats, and I would have to say that both of them are great seats. They do have slightly different qualities, one to another. But I'd have to say that I definitely stand behind the Mustang product.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, David.
Okay, our next question is from Stephen Anderjack. Give me a moment while I locate the name on the list. Sorry. Are you there, Stephen? Stephen, are you there? Okay, looks like he might not be able to connect.
All right, Stephen, if you're out there, and obviously we can't hear you through your mic, so if you go ahead and type that question, we'll go ahead and get to it here in just a little bit.
Oh, he did. It is, what is the warranty on the Mustang seats?
Aha. Now, you want to handle that one?
Oh, yeah, we have on the bottom of every Mustang seat, in addition to the part number and the Made in the USA sticker and a serial number, so we know exactly what day it was made in the factory. We have a full 1-year warranty, and with our 800 number and our website on a permanent sticker on the bottom of the seat. So if you have any problems ever down the road, you just can call us directly, and we'll take care of warranty issues for you. You don't even have to go through cruiser customizing.
And our next question is from Michael Nielsen. Michael, are you there? Michael?
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, I was wondering what the fatigue, how it helps with fatigue for the long runs. I mean, the foam, I hear it, but
Okay. Well, that's a really good question, Michael. Because the seat is more comfortable, your bottom is not fatigued. But basically, we're talking about the back fatiguing and your muscles in your back. So when you're sitting at the proper angle, you won't be fatigued. Your back muscles won't be pulling as much. If you look at, I don't know if you have a stock seat, but if you walk down the street with his bikes parked, you'll see a lot of stock seats on bikes, and
right.
A lot of them are sort of fit like, they look like a sling chair. You can never get your butt back into a stock seat. You'll notice that Mustang seats are much more L-shaped, just like the chair you're probably sitting on right now, or your car seat, or your dining room chair. We really try to make it so you put your butt into the seat and you're not sliding forward and there's no curve to your back. So that really minimizes fatigue. It's the difference between sitting on a bar stool and sitting on a good office chair.
okay, I see.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Noel Pauline. Noel, hold on one moment while I unmute your mic. Are you there? Noel Pauline? Pauline? He asked, surely the rider's weight would determine the level of comfort?
That's an interesting question, and I guess theoretically you would say that a 100-pound person versus a 300-pound person you'd think their comfort level would be different, but we haven't found that to be the case. Basically, we're trying to make, obviously it's one size fits all, but we try to make just like a really good, as I was saying before, a really good office chair or a really good lazy boy chair or something would fit and make you feel better no matter what your weight is. So it's a high-quality seat that really should adapt to almost every body type.
Great.
Beautiful.
Our next question comes from Terrell Myers. Terrell, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi.
Welcome, Terrell.
Yeah, my question is, if I'm looking at a Mustang wide touring seat with the passenger seats, can I add a driver backrest after the fact, or do I have to buy it with it?
What model bike do you have?
It's a Yamaha V-Star 1100.
Okay, yeah, that you'd have to get the driver backrest right from the get-go. That driver backrest is built directly into the solo seat on that one, so that's not something you're going to add at a later date. So you'd have to purchase that as a set.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Our next question comes from Nick Capagna. Nick, hold on one moment. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Are you there, Nick?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome, Nick. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. What can we do for you tonight?
I have a Royal Deluxe 1300, I took a 2.5-hour to Helen yesterday, and my tailbone absolutely killing me. And you guys were talking about either your butt or your back tailbone. How does the design of the seat address that?
Well, it's probably similar to, let me see, your tailbone is hurting. So is your lower back fatigued also? Are your butts unhappy, or is just your middle of your tailbone there?
It's the tailbone itself.
Yeah.
It was the only thing that was really bugging me by the end of that trip.
Yeah, I think you'd find that on the Mustang seat, our foam is such that it would distribute your weight more evenly and not have that pressure point of your tailbone.
Okay.
You know, 'cause you probably, when you're sitting in your car or other places, it probably is distributed better, and you're probably sitting on a hard area there, and they don't have enough foam, and you probably, some people think their seats are too soft or too hard, and sometimes you're riding on the base plate. But the angle that we would sit you at would eliminate the pressure point in the tailbone and distribute your weight out more evenly on the foam.
Okay. And do you guys have a model that would have the driver's passenger seat and the driver back together for that Royal Star Tour Deluxe? It's a 2006.
So you want a one-piece seat you're talking about? They're all two-piece seats. Okay, yes, we do have them, and we have them with the driver backrest that comes out of your Solo, and we also have them with just the front of the passenger seat coming forward a little bit to give your lower back more support if you don't want to go the full 9 yards and get the driver backrest.
I would want the driver backrest as well.
Yeah. Then we have a one-piece seat, the two-piece seat, I'm sorry, with the driver backrest, which again is totally removable. So you'd have the option of driving it with the Solo, the driver backrest, the Solo with the passenger seat. And I should mention here that the the comfort of the passenger is not impacted by whether or not you have a driver backrest. The driver backrest,
and the backrest is more comfortable for the passenger as well?
Oh, yes. Yes, all of our seats are very, very comfortable for the passenger. And honestly, probably half our seats are sold because the passenger is so uncomfortable, and you got to make Mama happy.
Oh yeah, my wife was not too happy on that trip either.
and you want her to ride more. She's not going to, passengers are not going to enjoy riding with you if they're uncomfortable, and you're not going to enjoy having them ride if they keep saying, "When are we going to stop, honey?"
Right, right. You suggest the C9 420 for that model? Or is there
that's the studded version, or you can get the plain version, which is the 79421. But yeah, both would be the same. It's just whichever decorative you had as a preference.
But that has all three pieces.
Yes, that part number gets you all three pieces: the Solo, the driver backrest, and the passenger seats.
Perfect. Thanks so much,
awesome.
guys.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, our next question comes from Sam Hunt. Sam, are you there? Sam? Okay, it looks like we might have lost him. Unfortunately, he didn't write it down. Ted Poper, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Ted.
Welcome, Ted.
Hi. From the Great White North up in Canada here. I drive an 06 Vulcan Nomad. I've got an aftermarket backrest that is a quick disconnect that's bolted onto the aft bolt of the front seats. I'm wondering if that would work with the Mustang seats.
So it comes up between the two pieces, between
That's
your
correct.
Solo and pad?
Right.
Yeah, it wouldn't work with the Mustang because on the Mustang the passenger seats overlap the driver's seat. So
Okay.
we don't have that. It's still two pieces, but there's not that space that your stock seat has between the two pieces. So you wouldn't be able to get that post to come up between the two pieces.
Okay. Terrific. That's fantastic. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Now, what you could do, though, is if you're looking for that comfort for the driver's seat, you can still do the Mustang driver's seat with Mustang backrest, and there's quite potentially an eBay user that would love to have your current setup.
You know, I never thought of that. That's a good idea.
All right. Well, thanks
Good
for
job,
joining
Matt.
us this week.
What I like about the Mustang backrest is it's adjustable fore and aft. And does it go up and down as well?
Yes, it does. Yeah, it has a 4 height position on the Vulcans.
Awesome.
If you take a look at the tip of the week that we just launched this week, I show the insertion of that driver backrest into the seat, and you can see where each of those notches hit. It's at the end of the tip, so go ahead and take a look at that, and you'll be able to have a good idea as far as the adjustability goes.
Okay, thank you, Kyle.
Sure thing.
Thanks for calling.
Okay.
Okay.
Next up.
Our next question comes from Greg Craning. Greg, are you there? Greg? Well, he did write his question. He says he just bought a new 2012 Road King Classic. Already the stock seat is actually hurting his back quicker than his butt. He's wanting a 2-up, 1-piece wide, deep touring seat. He already has the stock standard. I have already taken the driver backrest off because I don't care for it. I'm 6'4" tall, long legs, long arms, so I'm wanting and needing a deep as possible seat to set as low as I can with very good lower back support. What would you suggest for me?
Okay, Matt's looking in our catalog here to get the exact part number, but yeah, that's a concern. You know, you want to sit back into the seat, and if you have long legs, then you want to sit as far back as possible. So Matt's coming up. He's flipping pages in the catalog.
I'm sorry, was the question, was he looking for a 2-piece seat, a solo pad combination, or a 1-piece?
He said that he's needing a deep as possible seat to set as low as I can with very good lower back support, as well as one that sets back as far as possible for more arm and leg room.
So what we don't know here is whether he wants a passenger to ride with him or not.
Oh, he's saying 2-up.
Okay, that answers the question. Because one of our guys, Chris here, the guy that we made that day tripper for, loves the day tripper because it does give him more room than he had in any other seat that he's ridden on thus far. But for a 2-up application, it's not really the best option. So what do you suggest there, Matt?
You'd be looking at we have the 2 super styles. We have the 1-piece super touring, which will sit you 1.75 inches further back. And that's all on 1 piece, so he can get. He's got the full driver's seat, and he's got a 14-inch wide passenger seat. Or if you wanted to go to a solo pad combination, I can go to the Super Solo, which will sit him 1.25 inches further back, and he could go with a 13.5-inch wide passenger seat. And all of those are available with and without a driver backrest. I know he mentioned he didn't like the driver backrest, but that's probably because it was pushing him too far forward. Now if you go with one of these that's getting you back over an inch, inch and a half in some cases, you'll be able to utilize that driver backrest again.
Great suggestions, Matt. What do we have next, Krista?
Next we have Daniel Venezia. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. Welcome. What do you got for us today?
I wanted to get a Mustang Solo seat with the driver backrest. Do I have to change the passenger seat, or can that be left just stock like it is?
What bike are you riding, sir?
I have a 2003 Shadow.
Yeah, you'd be changing the entire seat out, unfortunately. The Mustang Solo will not work in conjunction with your stock passenger seat.
Daniel, are you there?
With the driver backrest?
Did we lose?
Couldn't hear that.
Hello?
There you go, Daniel. Sorry.
What was the question?
No, do they make a combo seat, you know, driver and passenger, but also able to get a driver backrest with that also?
Yes, that you can do. You can get it with the driver backrest built right into the Solo seat, and that's available with studs and conchos or plain.
In which, like all of our driver backrests, you can just take it out instantly without tools.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great.
Next up.
Next we have a question from Sam Hunt. He asks, have you ever thought of doing custom stitching?
Custom stitching. Well, we've been thinking about it, and we just came out with a new line of seats with diamond stitch on them for the FLs, right, Matt? And also with a brown cover. So I would keep watching. I don't know what bike Sam is riding, but we don't do made-to-order stitching, if that's what he means by custom stitching. But we're getting more custom looking in our lines of seats now.
Great.
Excellent. Thank you, Marilyn.
Great question.
Our next caller is Noel Gibson. Noel, are you there? No? Okay.
Hey, Noel, you out there?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Noel, welcome.
Yeah, g'day. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Awesome, awesome. So for all of those out there, Noel is one of our very active community members in Australia. Welcome, Noel.
Yeah, Kyle, how you going, mate? All right? Mate, my question is, with backrest, like everyone else is talking about, what is the ideal place for them on your back? I mean, you hear people saying high, low. Where is the ideal spot? Where's that sweet spot?
Well, if you have and thanks for calling from Australia, beautiful country. If you have a driver backrest, you should have it as low in your back, so it's just right above your belt line. If you put your hand behind your back and find out where your belt is, it should be hitting you right above usually where your belt goes. You don't want it up high because you want the back support low. There's no reason to have, sometimes you sit in chairs and there's a back support like between your shoulder blades, and that's ridiculous, or even just a little below the shoulder blades. Have it nice and low above your belt.
Yeah, copy that. That sounds pretty reasonable stuff. At present, I'm only running an OEM seat on my V-Star 1300, and the Mustang's certainly on my Christmas wish list. But,
well, only 6 more months to Christmas from tomorrow, June 25th.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And you guys are in the winter down there right now.
Yeah, and it's bloody freezing too.
Good deal.
The whole 14 degrees here today.
Nice, nice. Well, thanks for calling in.
Anyway, guys, mate, a pleasure. Thanks for the information.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay. Our next question comes from John Crucio, I believe. How much do you recycle?
Interesting question.
Right. Oh, you mean as if we have leftover pieces of the vinyl, or boy, that's because we have the vinyl cutting machine all computerized now. There's just itty-bitty little strips of vinyl, so that's not really enough to recycle. The foam, the chemicals are all environmentally passed, EPA passed, and we're pretty stringent, especially in the state of Massachusetts. They watch all that very carefully, but we don't really have a need to recycle any of the foam material because we make a foam, as I said, like you make a waffle and you trim off slight bits on the edges. That's a really good question. We haven't come across anything that could be recycled.
And I'd just like to butt in real quick, Marilyn, if you don't mind.
Please do.
As far as the recycling thing, I was really shocked and really in awe at the way the seat is made. There's almost no excess. I mean, the foam that was trimmed off the side was an eighth of an inch thin. I mean, it was super, super thin. It just gets trimmed off with a little turkey knife. The cover was cut in the most efficient manner possible. And the fiberglass was laid on only as much as you need, so there's really little trimming that happened there as well. So, yeah, I mean, as far as the making of the seat, I didn't see much there that really would warrant excess, no recycling.
Well, that's a good question. We certainly recycle everything else we can around here, from our soda cans to everything. So, but good question.
Awesome.
Our next question comes from Thomas Nichols. He asks, do you use gel pads in any of your seats, and if not, why?
We do not use gel pads. although we do use them in our sneakers when we're standing on asphalt at a show, for instance, but we find that gel is best used for things like liners in your shoes, an application that you only have an eighth of an inch or a quarter of an inch of thickness to play with. Now, if you have a $150,000 show bike and your seat is really, really thin, like an inch, half an inch, you might want to use gel in that application. But we now have developed foam that we think far exceeds gel. If you think about foam, no matter how hard or soft it is, you can compress foam. If you think about gel, if you press down on a jelly substance, it will disperse around your thumb, for instance. So it's okay if it's just in your sneaker, but if it's in a seat, it would disperse and not give you the support that you need. So we're not gel people. We believe in foam and holding up your bottom with foam.
Excellent. Thank you, Marilyn.
Mm-hmm. Okay, our next question comes from Ricky Golson. Ricky, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hello.
Welcome, Ricky.
Hey there. Hey, I have a 2011 Harley Electric Ride Limited, and the stock seat is very comfortable for my wife, but it's very uncomfortable for me. And I was looking at your two-up one-piece seats. I was wondering, what would fit me best. I'm 5'10", about 208 pounds, and the bike's been lowered approximately an inch and a half, and it's fairly comfortable now. I was wondering if I would lose any of that reach with your wide touring.
With our standard touring seat, you'd go back up probably about an inch. But if you went with like our low-down style, that would keep you down where you're sitting with your stock seat, and you may actually gain another half an inch with the low-down. It's also narrowed up in the nose, so that would help you get your legs around the bike at a stop. And that would also, the low-down has, plenty of foam to give the support. It's all in the way we designed the pan and the foam shape in that. But that would be an option that you might want to consider. That would, it's still got a nice comfortable area for your wife. It's 14 inches back there, but it's going to benefit you as a driver with sitting down low and give you plenty of back support. It's, that option's also available with or without the driver backrest.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for that information. I considered that, but I'd also read where it sets me back roughly 1 3/4 inches, and right now my arm's at a perfect reach for the handlebars, so I was kind of concerned there.
Yeah, that would be the Super. The low-down won't move you back like that. So the low-down's going to put you, in terms of your distance front to back, it's going to sit you right around the same as stock. It's the height-wise that you're going to gain with the low-down. So stay away from the Supers and go with the low-down.
Matt, do you have a sample part number? I know we have them plain and some.
Yeah, our standard low-down, just a plain one, would be 79700, which you could look up right there on Cruiser's website.
Okay, and that'll work with my OEM backrest?
Not with your driver backrest, no.
Oh.
With passengers, but not driver backrest, because now that you're going lower, you wouldn't be able to utilize your stock driver backrest. You'd have to go with a Mustang one. Then you'd look at part number 79703.
Okay.
That would get you the driver backrest.
All right. Thank you very much.
Hey,
You're welcome. Thanks for calling in.
Okay, our next question comes from Glenn Alford. Give me 1 second while I unmute his mic. Glenn, are you there?
Yep.
Hi.
Welcome, Glenn.
Sorry, say that again?
I said welcome. What can we do for you tonight?
I was just wondering about the, I actually just ordered a seat before the webinar was announced, but I haven't received it yet, and I'm just wondering why the seats don't come with the mounting plates already on them.
What do you mean by mounting plates?
I read through the description there, and it says that you have to take the ones off your stock seat and put them on the Mustang seat.
For what bike? What bike you riding?
It's a Vulcan 900, Classic LT.
Oh, you're talking about the latch mechanism that goes on the bottom of the seat.
Yeah, I haven't got it yet, so I don't know exactly what it was talking about, but
yeah, it's the key latch mechanism. Yeah, I mean, because of the intricacies of that bracket, it's easier for us instead of trying to replicate that. And because of the key mechanism and everything that's utilized on that bike, it's best that we use the OEM equipment for that. So all the spacing and everything's on the bottom of the Mustang seat. It's as simple as taking 2 quarter 20 bolts out and putting them back in with that bracket, and you're good to go.
Okay, thanks very much. Looking forward to getting the seat.
Yeah, you'll be really happy. That's a great seat on that 900.
Yeah, it's very popular.
So most of the hardware for the Mustang seats come with the seat, but in certain applications such as this one where the bracket actually is activated with a key in order to get the seat on and off, most of those are actually reusing that OEM hardware. So.
Yeah, it varies. The 900 is one specifically. There's a couple others that will actually do the key mechanism, but with this bracket being on the fender and such, and being it's got to be right in the same spot as OEM, and there's no clearance for being wrong. So we prefer to use the OEM on that application.
Awesome.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Next up.
Okay, our next question comes from Doug Moore. Doug, are you there? Oh, it looks like you might not have a mic. He writes, I have a very bony butt. What will the key to comfort be in choosing a touring seat?
What? I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question, Carissa?
He says, I have a very bony butt. What will the key to comfort be in choosing a touring seat for me?
What will the key to comfort be for choosing a touring seat for his bony butt? Okay.
A Mustang seat plus lots of steak and potatoes?
Yeah, chocolate chip cookies. Again, there shouldn't be a problem once you have the Mustang foam that should be supporting all of his bones. Matt, would you recommend a wide versus a sport touring seat for him?
He didn't say what application this was for, did he?
Yeah.
No, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, so it depends on the application on the seat. But any of our wide seats are going to disperse your weight, as we've discussed, over your full seating area. So you shouldn't have any pressure points on your tailbone or your sit bones. It's going to go out more towards your thighs, so that should eliminate that bony feeling that he's got.
Yeah, and he may not need a wide seat anyway. If he has a bony butt, he may not have a wide butt. So he should be happy either way. On any width of Mustang seat, it should feel a lot better.
Great.
Excellent.
Okay, our next question comes from Jesus. Jesus, you there? Jesus? Okay. Are you there? I thought I heard him, sorry. He writes, I have a Mustang seat for Honda Shadow 2003. It is excellent. My question is, do you have a solo seat for Harley-Davidson Police 2006?
Yep, we make them for the police models. Whether he still has it mounted on the air system that came from the factory, we have seats that'll fit on that. Or if he's removed all that hardware and he wants to mount it directly down on the frame, he can do that as well. And both options are available with or without a driver backrest.
Excellent. Thanks, Matt.
Our next question comes from Charles Morello.
Hey, Charles, are you there?
Oh. Charles? Oh, well, he's not answering, but his question was, are most models in stock, or are they all made to order?
We don't make any seats to order. We have them in stock, so we can get them out of the factory in cruiser customized. Boy, it's 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. Sorry about that. We can get them right in cruiser customizing cans and get them at your door. So we have a huge warehouse, which is included with our factory building, and so we have them all ready to go out the door. We don't make them one at a time or to order.
So let me tag in there a little bit as well. In the Cruiser Customizing Fulfillment Center, we have a majority of all of the fast-moving seats in stock and ready to go. We've also got probably 20 other warehouses that we can actually pull seats from. So usually within a couple days, we're able to get a seat, unless it's out of stock across the country. We can usually get that seat out the door and on the way to your house.
Great.
All right. Thanks for the question. That's a good one. Chris, the next one?
Our next question comes from Greg Stewart. Greg, are you there? Greg? Okay, I'm sorry, he had his hand up. He must not be there. Our next question comes from Michael Nielsen again. He asks, how does the seat hold up to the sun beating on it all day?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question, Michael. The sun, because we use a really high grade, highest quality of vinyl, there's no problem with the sun. Unlike leather seats or that you might have some discoloration, but our seats will look the same 5-10 years down the road. They hold up to the sun just fine.
So while talking about covers in general, Marilyn, so sun, you guys create vinyl that allows it to be sun resistant, if you will. What about water? How does rain affect the seat cover?
Well, because I guess all aftermarket seats are stitched rather than molded vinyl, there are little stitch holes in the seat and the cover of the seat. When we make the covers, which are double the stitches, the seams are double stitched, we apply a type of wax to the threading. Actually, the threading itself is wax. To fill the hole so as little water as possible can get through there. So, but if it was out in a rainstorm and you didn't purchase, we have very inexpensive rain covers you could leave on your bike during the rain if you're not riding it. But if you do get any water in there, there's no damage at all to the cover or to the foam or to the base plate. We actually have a hole in the bottom of the base plate where water could drain out. The worst thing that would happen would be you get on the bike the next morning and your butt gets a little damp. But we try to eliminate the possibility of water going through the seams by trying to clog them up as much as possible with this minute bit of wax on the stitches.
Beautiful. Thanks for the information on that.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, Carissa?
Okay, our next question comes from David Boone, I believe it is. David, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am.
Hi. Welcome, David.
Hi. I bought a Mustang seat for my 1600 Nomad, and now I'm looking for a backrest for it. Can that backrest be ordered separately?
Driver backrest, no, it can't be added to a seat that's already been built because that receiver is molded into the pan at the time the seat is constructed. It's not something that can be added at a later time.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
So it sounds like another sale on eBay and buy a replacement Solo with the driver backrest. Sorry about that, David.
That's all right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Great. Our next question comes from Greg Craney. He says, you may have mentioned this and I might have missed it, but what if I purchase the seat, ride a few days on it, and realize I don't care for it and it's not the one for me? What's your return and or exchange policy?
We'll let Kyle answer that from Cruiser Customizing.
So currently there's not a ride and return policy, but just for your edification, Cruiser Customizing is working on a partnership with Mustang that will allow us to be able to allow you to ride that seat for couple rides and within say 30 days. And if we get that as an exchange back in within 30 days, we should be able to handle that. But if you foresee that being an issue, just email me directly, and I will work directly with you. So Kyle, Kyle, at cruisercustomizing.com. Next question, Carissa?
Okay. I'm also going to put David Nipple back on the line. He had a couple extra questions. David, are you there?
Yeah.
Hello again.
Well, I've got a 950 V-Star, and I was curious, on the backrest, you have to buy the whole thing as a kit. You know what I mean? The passenger seat, the backrest, and the seats, or can you add that later also?
You'd have to buy it as a complete three-piece set. So you get your solo seat, your driver backrest, and your passenger seat. The driver backrest is not something that can be added at a later date on the 950s.
Okay. Does it change the ride height or seat height, and does it move you back from stock positions?
It will. You will, because of the width of the seat and the thickness of the foam, you'll probably find you're going to sit about an inch higher with the Mustang seat. The forward back distance, that will be maintained as stock. The driver backrest is adjustable, so if you wanted to move forward, you could adjust the driver backrest forward to move yourself forward, but the actual seat itself is going to maintain your distance from the bars as stock.
Okay, because I've got the same problem that guy had with 6'4", is the stock seat has that kick up at the back, and that's just really uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're going to find with that bucket on the 950, you're going to sit down and back into the seat itself instead of sitting on top of the seat. So you should get plenty of lower back support, and the driver backrest is adjustable forward and back, as we said. And if you find that the backrest is still too far forward, we do have an offset backrest that'll get you back another. It's just the post. You'd just be changing the lower post, and that would get you back another inch, and that's available as well.
Well, that sounds much better.
Yeah, try the original backrest first, and then if you decide you really need to be further back, you can contact Cruiser or us, and we can just get you the offset one.
Well, it sounds like a good deal. I think I've already made my choice, Diz.
Okay, thank you, David.
Outstanding. Thanks for calling back in.
All right. Well, that's wrapping up what we have as far as questions tonight. If we missed your question or you have additional questions, feel free to email me directly, and I will either forward those questions over to Mustang so we can work with Marilyn and Matt, or give you that answer directly. So once again, the email address for that is kyle@cruisercustomizing.com. If you have any further questions, shoot me an email. And we've got that special offer in place from now until midnight tomorrow night. That is 15% off Mustang seats,
MSRP.
plus a Mustang hat, and a $30 gift certificate. And that coupon code is MUST24.
And it is 15% off of the MSRP price, just to clarify.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Matt and Marilyn, for joining us tonight.
Well, Matt and I would like to thank all the people who listened in and called in and wrote in, and we really appreciate your interest in Mustang seats, and special thanks to all of our friends at Cruiser Customizing. Thank you, Kyle and Carissa and everyone there, for allowing us to share the evening with you.
No, this is great. Thank you very much.
It's been great. I think we were able to get some knowledge of Mustang out there to those who have attended, and hopefully that can spread like wildfire to their family and friends, and we should be able to get some more educated people out there talking about Mustang seats.
Great.
Excellent. Well, thanks again, everybody. We're going to go ahead and close the webinar down. So thanks again for coming, and if you have any questions, give me a phone call or an email.
Have a nice night, everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye.